For Gen Xers, now is the time to plan for the future and the unexpected if you haven't already. Joining me now is attorney Bridgette Friedman, who helps clients create estate plans and helps settle those estate plans upon death. Bridgette, thank you so much for joining us. So first of all, let's talk about the essential elements of a good estate plan.
So the essential elements of an estate plan really consist of 4 documents, sometimes a 5th, but for most people 4 apply. One is the will, also called the last will and testament, the power of attorney, the healthcare surrogate, and the living will. The 5th document that sometimes applies might be a living trust or even a testamentary trust. As far as the last will and testament goes, this document only applies after you die. So of course we're looking at things whether or not you can touch these things, or if you own real estate or any other item like a car, you might have accounts like a bank account, a retirement account. Sometimes if those assets end up coming through probate, then your will would apply after you die.
And are there any things that we need to be mindful of when putting inheritance in a will in terms of tax consequences and transfer of properties?
So right now the federal tax level is so high that it doesn't affect most people. It's over $11 million. So a lot of tax planning is not at issue at this point. If that tax law sunsets, then of course we're all going to be having a very different discussion. The other 3 documents are all applicable when you're alive. So the power of attorney that you mentioned earlier, that's a document that's executed to give someone the authority to make financial decisions for you. It used to be that that document applied only after you lost capacity, but the statute changed and now they are effective immediately. The other thing to keep in mind with the power of attorney is that unless the specific authority is listed in the document, the person you've granted the authority to can't take that action.
So what is a healthcare surrogate and the role it plays in an estate plan?
So the healthcare surrogate allows someone to make medical decisions for you in the event that you're unable to, and that's in contrast to the power of attorney, which allowed someone to make the financial decisions for you.
And a living will?
So the living will is a declaration that someone makes. They say that they do not want to be kept alive under certain circumstances. There are really 3 circumstances. 1, if you are in an end-stage condition. 2, if you're in a terminal state. Or 3, if you're in a persistent vegetative state. 2 doctors have to both agree that one of those conditions apply. One of them has to be your primary care physician and another objective physician that also agrees.
So share with us some tips for preparing to put together an estate plan.
So the first thing I would say is you've got to understand how the system works, because some people think that if you have a will, that it controls every asset that you own. And that is one of the major misconceptions that I run across. So the reason why people are confused is that they don't realize that if they have a beneficiary on one of their accounts, for example, a bank account, if you have a beneficiary, your beneficiary is going to receive the money in your bank account at your death. And your last will and testament is not going to control that asset.
Bridgette, before we go, any other parting words of wisdom that you want to share with Gen Xers?
So I would say that it's never too early, it's never too late to estate plan. At any major life event, whether you get married, whether you get divorced, whether you have a child, whether a child dies or another family member dies that's in your estate plan, it's always a good time to revisit your estate plan with a legal professional just to make sure that your last wishes are carried out after you die.
Now, if you want to learn more about what Bridgette does, check out her website below here on the screen and let them know that Karen from GenXtra sent you.